Blood on the mat, sweat on my skin. I've been fighting for a win, don't need no gimmick. When the lights go down and the crowd starts to roar, I'm coming for the belt, man, I'm coming for more. The struggle's real, but the hustle's heavy. This ain't a game, it's a fight for the ready. We fight through the noise, breaking down walls. Every time we fall, we rise, stand tall. They talking, they hating, but we keep moving. Ain't no stopping the crowd, we choose it. Through the blood, through the pain, we living for the glory. Through the hurt and the shame, we fight through the noise. Can't hear a thing, we making our moves. We own everything, wrestling through pain, breaking all chains. This is our world, and we taking the reins. Rise up from the ashes, rise from the dirt, from the first bell ring to the final hurt. We fight through the noise, we won't be ignored. This is our story, we're taking the floor. Through the ropes, through the climb, we don't quit. Ain't no fear when you're fighting with grit. Body slam, then we stand, take the blow. A real champ knows when it's time to grow. Tearing up the ring, tear up the doubt.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Before we started today, good evening, Mike Holenchek and Joe Vitanza. Oh, I forgot to get. You know what, Mike? You are correct. I stand here ashamed before you. I'll be right back. I'll be here. I can hear you, but yes, continue to talk amongst yourselves. Beautiful hat. Let's take a look here.
He's off camera already. That took a matter of 10 seconds. Is that a record?
Probably fell asleep. That's the title of your book.
The record, yeah. It's a record.
Do you know the difference between an ooh and an ah?
Oh boy.
This much.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, no comment for that. No comment for that. I have an idea what he's going to do, if it's what I think it is. And I apologize to everybody ahead of time. It's partially my fault if he does this.
I have a feeling he's going to show up looking like Lex Luger on the USS Intrepid in '93.
He might. I mean, you know, he does have a WBF medal, so he might. Something that Luger never got.
That's true.
You know what? I have to watch the Stars and Stripes Challenge on Friday. It's on YouTube, I think.
It is. I've watched it.
I have to watch that whole thing. That should be like a yearly tradition now. The Stars and Stripes.
See everybody try to body slam Yokozuna.
Yep. Oh boy. So I heard we had some, and I know this is going to be a surprise. I know it's going to be a shock to everybody, but I heard there was some more drama today in the bell lobby.
Carmine's about to roast somebody like a 4th of July barbecue.
Yeah.
Gather your friends and family.
Yep, here we go. Here we go again.
Gather your friends and your loved ones, as it were.
And I apologize for not putting up any of the comments because I literally can't see them.
I will.
Wearing this. So I can't see without my glasses to begin with, and then I got these things on there, so it's even worse.
That's why I don't wear glasses. I mean, well, those glasses.
There's the Moostodon has arrived.
The moose. The moose.
The moose is on
fire.
Do you know that Moose did try to register for the Stars and Stripes Challenge, but they wouldn't let him in?
I heard that.
Yeah, those fuckers.
I know. That's why he hates the WWF to this day. Yes. There's a secret behind his love of the NWA, and it's not what you think it is.
You know what? Last week episode we were talking about a certain fellow from Pittsburgh.
Oh, geez.
And it dawned on my mind today. Do you know there's only 2 people that have, from this hobby, that have met the person with the initials EW?
No.
The Pittsburgh guy was one.
Yes, and Hammer was the second.
And didn't he go to his house? Didn't he go to Mr. EW House too, or something like that. Yeah,
Happy 4th to you too, Vinny.
They had dinner together, didn't they?
Yes.
something like that. Yeah, I know there was. Yeah, so
They had dinner together, I believe. The moose is on fire.
Live from my mom's basement, literally.
So you're literally the guy when they say you're in your mom's basement. You're like, yes.
Pretty much.
Now,
You know-
Joe got something to say. Before we get into Karma and roast, I want people to have time to gather their friends and loved ones. Before we get into roasting people, Joe had. Guess what, Mike? Look at Mike. He's got his hat. He's very American. Could not get a good shirt. Could not get a flag shirt as hard as he tried.
no. But hey, I'm representing the United States of America, so there's nothing wrong with that.
That's right.
You know,
I was going to get a United States belt, but I said, which one? Oh, I know. I could have got my Trump belt.
Could have.
I could still. You never know. The show's young. I tell you, Joe, show the people what you got and tell them who got it for you.
So, my barber is a big wrestling fan. I go to a barber shop and he had on today Georgia Championship Wrestling when Jake Roberts held that ugly Georgia, the TV title.
Do not call that an ugly belt, you
That was an ugly belt. It was.
ugly brown looking mother.
And he would always tell me, like, every time I go and we would talk wrestling, we would talk LJN figures. And he said, hey, I got a 1987 Survivor Series program I'm going to give to you. And he kept always forgetting it. So today when I went in, take my son for a haircut, he finally gifted me a 1987 Survivor Series program.
Now, this is okay. So, the biggest surprise here for me, Joe, and we're going to look at this until you just said you took your son for a haircut. The biggest surprise here is that Joe has a barber,
If I let my hair grow out, yeah.
but you don't. So, you could have just took a
Sometimes I
razor. You don't need a barber for a razor.
Sometimes I do. But look at this.
You're the same barber as I have.
I mean that's in great condition. That's an amazing
Yes.
condition for
That's what I can't believe. For 87, you're talking what?
37 years, 38 years ago.
40 years.
Yeah.
But look at this great picture of the IC.
Yes.
That is a beautiful picture. You could see the how damaged it was from all the years of Brasso.
I mean, come on.
Well, here's a little fact that I didn't only find out to a few months ago. Do you know actually Macho Man was not responsible for brassoing that belt into oblivion?
I did not know this.
It was actually Elizabeth who did it.
Look at that, the card. The card.
Yeah.
It's funny. I got the WrestleMania program from this year. There's no card in the program.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
it's in-
subject to change,
Very good shape. No rips or tears. Nothing. I
There's
told
also-
him I'm going to frame this.
You really should. I would say get autographs on it, but most people in it are dead.
But honestly, I'm being truthful here. It was actually Elizabeth who brassoed that thing. Macho Man would have her clean it every day, but it was her who cleaned it. So she's actually the one who brassoed it to oblivion.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, but she was told to do it.
Well, I know what I'm saying, but technically he didn't do it. He was too busy with his coffee creamers and shit, so he didn't have time to do it.
Oh.
So he had her do it.
So before we get into the severe roasting of motherfuckers,
Yes.
shall I open my belt, Mike? Or do you want to show your belt?
Well, you show yours first, and then I'll show mine. I just happen to have it
Ooh.
belt day,
Oh.
although technically it was yesterday.
Yes. But I was tired.
Well, what else is new?
Not like today where I was wide awake.
Yeah. Okay.
Right on time, as always, folks. Right?
Thank you to Stacy for waking me up. Son of a bitch.
Well, you didn't even open the package yet.
No, I got it yesterday. I just been busy, man. Been busy.
Listen, I'm just going to say something truthfully. I don't want to go on this whole tangent again about this shit. But when we say the hobby is dead, remember when we used to get about, we dropped what we were doing. Fuck work. The women in our lives, the children, let them burn. We don't care. We got to go open this belt. It's
Yeah, I
important
realize.
now it's like a day or two, we don't care. Right? 3.
But I realize what it is too. It's mostly it's for us, but try to sell something, right? I'm looking at the groups. Try to sell something that isn't an official Figures Inc., WWE shop, Reggie, Dave, JMR. Even fucking Classic Shields HC, the price of everything has cratered. So you go to the groups, just look, watch people selling stuff. They're not selling. So yeah, if you're a person that sells belts and like your shit is going good, okay, but you gotta understand there was a time in the hobby where I was doing what you were doing as a middleman, not you guys, because none of you do it. But to the people that do that, there's a time I was doing that where I would get $100 for every belt I sold. And a free belt every 5 belts, and I was selling minimum 10 belts a week. Okay, and we're making crazy, stupid money. I'm telling you, the hobby's changed, and the reason the hobby's changed and it's much less than it was, mainly is because, and it took me a while to figure this out. There's no new people, so, and of course, not no as in zero, but my God, how tight do they have this in here? Holy shit!
Tighter than a virgin on prom night.
I was thinking about the last time he had a man over his house, but
They're the man.
That's funny. I still have the mini U.S. title that Carmine sold me years ago.
Do you really?
Yeah.
But what I learned is, if you don't let new people in, well, then your Joe Vuittonses and your Mike Holincheks and your Moose and your me and the people watching this show, we've got the belts we want already. I got a maker gave me 2 belts. He said, "Can you sell them for me?" I said, "Bro," he sent them to me. I didn't. I asked him not to, but he did anyway. And I said, "Bro, boots are not 4mm zinc, even HD. It's just not selling. It's just not selling. Boots are not selling the way they were." So
everybody's gravitating towards shop belts because of the way the quality has improved.
The quality has changed so much.
I mean, if you look at a lot of these buy and sell trade like posts, it's basically the same belt every week.
Every week.
Same people.
And guess what? Those posts are useless. They're useless. I tell people all the time, you're not going to sell them on there. By the time you put your belt up, there's 800 other people put a belt up after you. Which is why the best place to sell a belt now, forget the groups. I didn't show the bag. The best place now to sell a belt is eBay. Mercari. I bought a Fanatic Stretch belt last night, or was it 2 nights ago?
no.
I wasn't going to get it at the time, but then I was like, maybe it is one of the Goldens. I'm not convinced one way or the other.
I told this guy, I said to him, here it is. Here's what the belt looks like. Blah, blah, blah. No, I don't want that. I said,
Why is it gold?
Then later on.
I didn't see the gold.
I sent you the freaking
I
pic.
didn't pay attention.
What else is no?
Okay.
You could have got a much cheaper price, but no, not you.
I mean, not much cheaper.
Well, yeah.
It's like $300.
Yeah, I know to you that's piss money. You wipe your dick with them after you take a piss. But the rest of us, that's a lot of money.
It's not huge money, is what I'm saying. It's not like it's $1,000 difference. All right. So, by the way, WWE shop, I get it. But you don't have to wrap the belt this much. Come on, man. Take the damn things off the snaps, too. I hate, by the way, if you buy belts and leave tape on the snaps, what are you saving? The rest of the belt is exposed. What is this little tiny piece of tape protecting after you have the belt and you've opened it? I'll tell you what it's protecting. Nothing! Stupid.
Yep.
I don't even like that it's on here now.
2 days early, fireworks are starting outside. There we go.
Oh, yeah. Well, I call it the month of July. Wow. Yo, this is really freaking beautiful, man.
It's definitely big.
It was on sale. It was on sale. I got a really good deal. It was like $300 off. So there you go. There's your $300. That is
Man, look at the
gorgeous.
sides. Oh.
And the snaps are the symbol too. That's interesting. Or no, they're not. No, I'm sorry. I thought those were the snaps.
No, they're not the snaps. I don't know what they are, but they're not the snaps. They're like snaps, and they're protruding from the belt. And interestingly enough, my He-Man belt has when it comes. It has stuff like that on it. I don't know what you call that piece. He told me the guy told me, Main Event Belts told me that what it's called. Number 259, 500. But this is like the Stone Cold one. Very 3D. This is another thing too, I think, too, is that the shop makes stuff now that you cannot copy. You can't copy it.
Well, they could try, but it's going to be horrible.
It's going to look horrible. I mean, they still can't copy, and they'll probably never be able to copy the current United States.
Whew.
It is really honest. It's really beautiful, man.
They didn't even put the patch in the middle. They put it to the side.
Yes, I remember the Undertaker signature was the first one, and I said it's beautiful, and you get that beautiful backing, but A, you got the screw showing, and B, you got the patch smack in the middle. Like, you kind of killed it.
All right, sir. So you got a belt, and I got a belt.
1 little, 2 little, 3 little Beltians.
That's right. Beltians. That's what she calls
Right.
Beltians. Where are the Beltians? Oh, so I got this from Mr. Sabia.
Damn right you did.
And here we go. It is the John Cena farewell spinner. So let's open this
My
up now.
favorite of all the spinners.
Now, this came from Euroshop, correct?
It did.
Yes. So they do things a little bit differently over there, apparently.
What you eating, Moose?
Nachos.
Ooh, nice.
So they don't wrap theirs in plastic. They just put the foam inside.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's no plastic in here.
Do you have pictures? Did you show pictures? Do we have pictures of how I wrap this thing?
I do have pictures on my phone. I do have pictures on my phone. But yes, I was waiting for the Pittsburgh spinner that never was made. So I was like, well, if I'm going to get one, I guess I'm going to get this one then, since I can't get the Pittsburgh one. But
And you got a steal of a deal.
Yes. Love it.
Look at that. See, now I love the. If you guys didn't see me unbox mine, or you haven't a good look at it, take a look at the strap. It's really
Yeah, it's rather interesting. It has like a glittery type of like material to it. It's almost well, it is textured sort of. I guess it's the glitter.
And if you were to run your fingernail across it, you would feel it. Yeah, there's a texture.
Yeah.
That looks nice.
Your $1,500 Dudley Boys shirt came in, Joe. 1,500.
What?
Wow, aren't you special? Yeah.
Vinny's on the road and he missed us, but if he drives past us again, he'll hit us this time.
So let's put
Here's the other Vinny. It's a tag team to Vinny's.
Vinny, you can kiss my
Yeah.
ass on that Dudley Boy shirt, man.
What? What's the Dudley Boy
very
shirt?
hot.
You do not want to
Yeah.
know.
Now, I'll tell you, the Saudi Arabia spinners are very nice as well. And I'll let you know more about them when I see them in person. Now, by the way, I work with a guy, Mike and I work with a guy. And he told me his mom is actually born on the 4th of July, which I thought was really cool. She's a Yankee Doodle Dandy. So happy birthday.
Okay.
Oh,
So
boy.
Vinny went to the store
I don't know.
down there. It's got figures.
Yeah.
It had Lex Luger with the red, white, and blue tights, like shorts, with like a big gold belt. It was weird.
Oh, really? That's weird.
They had a Stephanie McMahon figure. Oh, who else did they have? Oh, dude, they had the old school Dudley Boy shirt, the blue one. I'll show you a picture.
For $1,500?
Yeah.
Seriously, for $1,500 fucking dollars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll
Here
tell you
it
what,
is.
though, all joking aside, they have.
That's ridiculous price.
Hold on, let me see this. Wait. Old shirts are a lot of money, but not $1,500. That is,
But
they
hold
really
on.
got $1,500 for that.
There's the price tag.
I can't see it.
And truthfully, if you go to a maker like a shirt made, like somebody makes shirts, you could probably get that made. You know,
$1,500.
Yes.
Okay, so it's an original from the ECW days.
Yes. But look at also these figures
Thank
that
you.
they had. The old school signature series Stone Cold.
I remember them.
Oh my goodness! I have a lot of these figures in a box, on like they're
Okay.
open.
That
CW, CM Punk.
was the days of
Wait,
what I
what?
used. Yeah, that was the days of what I used to call the mildly perturbed Steve Austin.
Here's the Lex
Yes.
Luger.
Wait. Hold on. CM Punk was in ECW?
Yeah, when they relaunched it in WWE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I know
Look
they
at
had
this
ECW
Luger.
figures.
Look at this Luger.
Yep, All American with the big gold, which is funny
Yeah.
because at that point when he was the red, white, and blue All American, he never held the big gold yet.
But wait, what Dan is saying?
There it
was
is,
the shirt-
$1,500.
Was the shirt worn and signed by those? It still wouldn't be $1,500.
I don't know.
That's an insane price.
Dude, it's crazy.
But you know what? Hogan would charge that.
Hogan would charge it, yes.
Yeah, absolutely, all day, maybe even 50.
It was what Vinny said. It was original from the ECW days.
Okay, but
Dudley's.
still, you know what though? A guy, you know, how Kane gets hated now, right? Because of politics,
Mhm.
and so he sent this about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. He sends me a picture. This guy wrote like "F you" or something on an original Kane shirt. Wrote all kinds of crap on it, and then mailed it to Glenn at the mayor's office. And he was like, we were talking. He was like, I want to just see something real quick. And he went and looked it up on eBay or whatever. And the shirt was going for like $800. So he wound up signing it and auctioning it, and gave the money to the Tennessee Children's Hospital where he is. He gives everything to the Tennessee Children's Hospital when he gets any kind of signing and shit like that. And they gave him a nice piece of money. So the guy was trying to tell him off, but it made money for the kids. But those old shirts,
that guy may have had to spend $800 on eBay to go buy a freaking shirt just so he could sell that deal. Yeah. So,
Can you imagine if that guy was searching eBay and found that?
yeah. But it's amazing. It's amazing, like how much those old shirts go for a ton of money.
Well, it's like the original Dude Love shirt. I know that is worth some money.
That'd be a couple bucks. Imagine a Hulkamania shirt from the 80s.
Dude, I remember. Did you ever see the one guy? He goes to see Hogan, and he has like original Hulk rules or whatever Hulkmania shirt.
Now, WWF one or one that Hogan sold in the Florida days or the
No,
AWA days?
it was like an original WWF.
Okay.
And Hogan was like shocked. Hogan was like, "Yo, these are hard to find.
yeah, 'cause
Like
he
this
was
is
all
worth
freaking
money."
hell, yeah.
And Hogan signed it, and he goes, "It's going to be worth more now that I signed it."
Yeah.
Like
Hogan's like, gifted to me.
basically,
Yeah. So I could go sell it. Yeah.
put it on the Beach Shop site for like $2,000.
Yep.
That guy's selling this. How much he selling the C4 for? Like $5,000?
Was it 6?
I mean, he describes it to the T, like how beautiful it is and how it was made, and it's like, yeah, bro, yeah. You shouldn't have stole it from somebody. But if your intention was to sell it, you should at least be like, hey, look, man, I'm going to sell this. We'll
Yeah.
flip it. So, whoa, holy shit, Mike, did you see this?
What?
An entire neighborhood UFO sighting, bro, and they got video in 4K. And let me tell you something, you are gonna have a tough time explaining this other than it's alien. You guys want to see it?
Sure. Might as well
Yeah.
at this point. Yeah. Let's see it. And then we'll get into Carmine roasting.
And then we're gonna roast Rogers Leather.
Mm.
Then we're also going to roast. We're also going to roast Power Town.
We are, and I'll let you guys know that involved in Rogers Leather, the roasting will be Talmadge, Tyler Dove, and Kevin Davenport. Is that it? And Antonio Mendoza. They will all be involved in this story. So get ready, because we're going to be doing that in a minute.
We're ready for the extra. We're ready for the extraterrestrials. Let's see.
Look at that. First of all, can you see that?
Yeah, that's.
Two-Face, it's a UFO for real. No, we're not making this shit up. Look at her, she gonna put It's a UFO for real, y'all.
That looks like a pole that's lit.
Y'all, that's crazy. It's a UFO for real,
What
y'all.
the hell's with that music?
I don't know. They're playing music.
I promise y'all.
I mean, you give me an explanation for
There ain't
that's
no
not
damn street light.
that's not UFO.
My uncle talking about that street light.
Street light.
It does. Look at the pole right there.
I could actually
That ain't no
see
street
that.
light,
With
bro.
the
Bro, it's
lights on the
inside.
pole, like the pole's straight, the lights are on each side.
This
Yeah.
the fucking street light right here. This the fucking street
Yeah, that's
light.
just that's a
That ain't
fucking
no
street light there, but
streetlight.
that could be one of those ones that they put the things on.
Oh my god.
I mean, that's the light being
Bro, it's hundreds of feet in the air.
2 piece.
I don't know. I'm just saying, could be.
That's not a street light. That is not a street light, young squire.
Oh, that's a street light.
They use those UV lights and shit on them now, so it could be, I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's not UFO. I'm not saying it's.
I mean, I don't know if it's a drone. I don't.
Also, here's my question. I'm just being honest here. Here's my question. So these people in this neighborhood saw it. Well, if it's a UFO and it's up in the sky and the lights coming down to the ground doing whatever, where the hell are the people? You think you know somebody closer to it would be like, hey, it's right there. It's like 50 feet away from me up in the sky.
I mean, could it be a fog light?
It's probably a
Portable
street
light
light with
tower
like
that-
something like circular
It's
around
the
it.
beam coming down from it though that's got me. That's a weird.
That's a
looking-
pole. You see the pole right there.
I don't see shit.
What? Well, you probably don't see because you just woke up like 5 minutes ago. So
What we're saying is we think it's a pole that's being illuminated by lights that are on the top of it. That's
No,
basically
I want to believe.
lighting up the pole.
You know what? In fact, Joe, I still believe. I still believe someday you and me will find ourselves in love again. Oh, baby, yeah.
Okay, then.
I had a dream.
Did you?
I'm saying it's UFO right now, Jerry. It's not hard for me to say it. Everything is a UFO.
I have
Now, where'd Mike go?
No, I had to turn the sleigh off because it's freaking hot heat. It's really hot.
They've
Oh,
come
Where's your
from-
head?
we'll find
Dude,
ourselves in
I'm
love.
going
again.
home.
You
Who's
look in
there?
my eyes and I get emotional inside.
That's right. Great song. Great song.
Brenda knew how to sing, man.
What happened?
Brenda Starr, right?
Yes, Brenda K-Star.
Yeah.
So, Rogers Leather and
Belts.
and Goods and Services.
Isn't that like R Lab? He goes by R Lab for sure.
I love how it's Rogers. I'll
That's
give that guy
the funny thing.
$500 tonight if he could show me an identification card that says his name is Rogers.
It's like when you get the calls, hello, my name is Peter. No, it's not.
No, it's not, bro. No, it's not. Your name
My
is
name
not
is,
Peter.
my name is Jonathan. I'm from Maryland.
This guy doesn't have to sell any
fine.
belt. I'll give him $500 tonight if he can produce a verifiable identification that says his last name or his first name
It's Rogers.
is Rogers.
I never even heard of this before. This guy before. Till all this, brother. I never heard of it.
I offered the same thing to another maker named Steve Anderson. Said, I don't need a belt from you. I'll give you $500 cash if you can prove to me that your name is Steve Anderson.
I've heard of R Lab before. I've heard like some scamming.
So this guy's an asshole. So apparently he's confronted by one Matthew J. Panetta of the
X-Pac.
world famous Flying J. Panettas. And Panetta says to him, you know, you're not so yeah. Steven goes by Harvey too. That's great.
Harvey Anderson.
Exactly. So this guy's selling Reggie belts with a Reggie stamp. And Matthew confronts him. He's like, you know, you're not that's bullshit, man. You're not supposed to do that. Da 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 da. And he goes off on him. It's a whole story. I'm not going to show it to you. I think he posted it in All Elite Belts. The
You did, yeah. If you want to see the whole thing, it's in All Elite.
You want to see the whole conversation? It's All Elite Belts. So he's, you know, getting really nasty with Panetta, being a total dick to him.
Mm-hmm.
And Panetta came, nice at first. Now, I want to say right away that if you're to buy a belt from this guy with the Reggie stamp, there is no way you're going to confuse it for a real Reggie. His work is not of that quality. This is not Classic Shields. That's not Alianis. His work is not of that quality that you're going to be like, this might be a real Reggie. It's not that. That being said, it's not cool to use a stamp on a leather. We've talked about this before, and now he should have used the argument that he was celebrating Reggie's legacy. That would have been his best argument. But he didn't.
Did he get maybe he got approval from somebody like
he could have had approval from Reggie's college roommates, girlfriend's babysitter.
That's right.
And that would have been official.
Once brought in Burger King, and there you go. That's really all you needed. Yeah.
There you go. But that's not what happened. And instead, now he's going off and he's dragging. Mark Maggard is involved in this too, actually. So he's dragging, technically, and I'll get into that. He's dragging other people in with him. Well, look at these guys. How about Talmadge and Tyler Dove? They wanted free belts from me so they could sell for me. First of all, what the F does that have to do with the conversation at hand? What he's trying to do is he's trying to drag other people down with him and say, well, these people are doing shit worse than me. Now I'm going to stop you here. If, in fact, Tyler and Talmadge said to him, look, if you want us to sell for you, you got to give us free belts. That's called a fee. These guys, these belt makers, think that they are the only ones that should be making money. So I used to get $100 per belt, plus every 5 belts I sold, I would get a free belt. Okay. And then I would sell that belt and make the money. This is when belts were selling, you can get $350, $400 for a 4mm zinc belt. And so right now it's hard. It's hard to hustle to make money as a middleman in this hobby because maybe you can make $50. Maybe. And here's the thing. The only middleman I know of right now really is X-Man Belts. And I think he's making about $100 per belt, judging by what he charges for a 4mm zinc. And what you don't understand is, okay, making $100, first of all, they're not selling that many. They're not selling the numbers we were selling back in 2020, okay? And the reason still, whatever my personal feelings are for anybody, the reason I still would go to X-Man today if I was a buyer is because you're not just buying the belt from a maker who doesn't know you, okay? You're buying protection, right? If anything happens to that belt, there's a problem, you need a refund, you can go to Nick and Chris and you're going to get taken care of, whereas you deal with the maker yourself, you're hooped. So that's why middlemen, good ones, are good. Yeah, exactly. The juice is not worth the squeeze anymore. And so he's dragging these guys down. Talmadge and Tyler, they did this, they did that. And so they're worse than me. And Matthews like, look, why are you bringing these guys up? Basically, he's ignoring it. Then he brings up Kevin Matthews. And by indirectly, Kevin Matthews, that was a wrestler. Kevin Davenport, and indirectly Mark Maggard, because basically the hint is, well, you guys only promote who you want, and guys like Kevin, I guess because Kevin didn't let him in his group either. I think this guy's been kicked out of like every group he was in. You only let makers in your groups that pay you. Now, I can tell you right now, I know for a fact Kevin and Mark Maggard aren't getting paid by makers. Nobody in the hobby that runs a group gets paid by makers, but I would argue to you that they should. If you have a group with thousands of people in it, and these people are advertising in your group, you should charge a fee. I'm a capitalist, okay? I'm not like the guy in New York City running for mayor. I'm a capitalist to my core. If I had a group with 5,000 members and you want to sell belts in my group, let me give you my PayPal. Because these guys over there that are making belts believe they are the only ones that should make money. And everybody, you should be their middleman for free. You should help them advertise for free because they should get all the money. And so it's super annoying. And so Rogers, number one, nobody's in a mistake. And he's like, well, the guy I made it for had cancer. And he couldn't afford a $20,000 belt. Well, okay. So if I go to the car dealership and say, listen, my friend has cancer. He can't afford a Mercedes, but can you put a Mercedes stamp on this Kia? It doesn't work that way, bro. When you stamp Reggie's name on the leather, you are running the chance that somebody else, even though you're not doing it, you're running the chance that somebody you sell it to is going to try and sell it for a lot of money. And Talmadge said to me, he goes, I'm convinced that this Rogers guy is the guy behind all the fake Reggies on eBay. Because obviously he's got the stamp. He's like, I only use it for this one guy.
Bullshit. Yeah. You are, yeah.
You had a stamp made just for this one guy, did you? And so, to me, like I said, I think it goes too far when you're. I think it goes too far when you're using the stamp.
Agree.
Your thoughts?
100%. I don't think anybody should put a Reggie stamp on the leather. Because
it's too far.
Even if it is for a customer, okay, they don't like the belt, they put it on eBay for like 10 grand, 5 grand, says it's a Reggie. Some poor schmuck is not going to know the difference and think it's a Reggie because he sees the stamp and buys it. And then he's out 5 to 10K. But I mean, there was other makers that use the J-Mar stamp. Now I know there's some makers that put the RP and the Reggie Parks replica on the plate of belts. Tag Team, Classic IC, Winged Eagle, among other belts. I get that, but that was also used on the Figs, I think the Master Series. I believe so. I could be wrong.
Which one was the Master Series?
Wasn't Reggie Parks though?
They did the stamp.
I thought they put Reggie Parks replica on the plate. I think
They
so.
might have. There was a series though that was an actual belt basically made by Reggie. It was like a real belt, wasn't it?
It was the Master. It was I think it was the Master Series or something. I remember Hazard got one done. I forget, you get like the COA from Reggie and everything. I believe so.
Oh
Could be
damn!
wrong. But
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, if you're buying a belt, do not have the maker put a Reggie stamp on the leather. I mean,
Yeah, don't do it. I mean, just don't do it.
I consider a scumbag maneuver. I honestly do. I mean, I always have, even when we were going back to the Legacy collection, there were rumors that there was going to be a stamp on that. And I was like, same thing. That's garbage. You don't do that because, again, somebody at some point could potentially take this cheap belt and, again, like you said, put it up and say, look, I have a real Reggie Parks yellow Intercontinental. Was that what it was? Was it the yellow Intercontinental, I think?
yes,
What was it?
it was the yellow IC.
Yeah, could put that up and say, here we go. Here's a Reggie Parks belt. And like you said, you will get some poor schmo who will be like, oh, look what I found. I got a good deal. Oh, this should really go for $10,000, but he's only selling it for $3,000.
I could literally name the poor schmo that would fall for it right now too. I won't, but I could.
I don't feel that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't feel there's any difference. No, same thing. I think they're both wrong.
Yeah, I don't like it on the plates either. That's not nice. That's not nice at all. I give you the gift of this vision. Mike took his hat off, which is totally ridiculous.
Well, I was sweating, so let's put it back on again because the light right above me was really making me sweat. So let's get that back.
Yeah.
There we go.
The light above me, by the way, is also the name of Joe Baton's hit single.
That's right.
He's feeling extra stellar and special.
Yes, I'm sure he's as good as Classic Shields. And
Yeah. He won't. You know he won't.
no, because he had every intention of misleading people.
Maybe it's a legacy stamp. Could be.
That's what I said. He should have said he was just celebrating the legacy.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
Boy, that thing was a failed experiment. Huh? I don't know if they sold 5 or not, but
Shit.
that thing took a hit.
I don't even know if it's up yet.
Mhm.
There hasn't been any talk of it since.
Yeah. Almost like it was something that people really looked at and said, this is kind of very shady here.
Absolutely insanity.
I will say, man, like there was hype, and then it just.
It was hype for like 5 seconds, yeah. And then, but that was a horrible announcement video, and it killed it. It just killed it.
Sure, there'll be a few people that will buy the belt.
I don't know. I mean, I would guess maybe they sold their 5, but again, I mean, you could get right now. I mean, because even the price of Reggie's is coming down. I'm sorry to tell you guys this. Yes, it was not a great Reggie stamp to begin with. Correct. But even the price of Reggie's is coming down, man. The price they were a year ago is not the price they are today. And you got people that are, they're going to dig their heels in. They're going to stomp their feet and say, the hobby's not dead. Okay. Mike?
Yes.
Fuck the hobby. Fuck the hobby.
What's the next thing on the agenda? The whole reason you're here tonight is because of the hobby. The whole reason this show exists
I'm here for talk
is the
rap
hobby.
and eat some freaking tortilla chips.
I was going to say, speaking of things that were overhyped and died, Powertown Wrestling
Woo. What happened with Power Town?
are in big freaking trouble.
They will never have a pre-order again, I don't think.
So I don't know how many people know of what's been going on with their wrestling figures. They came out with Series 1 of their Ultra Series was the last year, I guess. Very nicely done. There were problems. There were problems initially, and they actually had to go back to factory, make a whole new bunch of them, and put them out. But the product that came out was, for the most part, pretty good. Now, pre-orders for Series 2 went up, I think, late last year. And they were supposed to be out months ago. Nothing has happened. Now they were saying July, but here's the problem. They're saying they're going to come out in July, but they're not going to come out in July because they literally just put up pictures this past week of prototype samples from the factory.
And they're horrible.
Yeah, and they're not really great. Kamal, somebody said this may be the best comment I heard of the week. Somebody said, "Look, it's the Ozempic Kamala figure because of what he looks, because of how thin he is. Alundra Blaze looks like a good woman figure, just doesn't look like her, And
JYD looks like a Mr. T figure from 1985.
JYD, instead of having the stern face like you're supposed to have, for some reason they did this with them. I don't know what's with that, and they didn't even bother showing any prototypes for the others.
I can't imagine there's a Series 3.
And then you make it even better. Here's a good one. I wasn't following this really because I wasn't planning on getting more. I got one figure from them from Series 1, and that was just to put in my belt collection, and I didn't really care about the rest. But so they were also doing Remco style figures,
Which I would.
yes, from the old '80s Remco wrestling, All-Star Wrestling line, or what was it called, something like that. So they were supposed to ship last fall. Didn't happen. Then everybody was told they were going to ship in January. That didn't happen. Then everybody said they were going to ship in February. They're on the boat. This was the actual thing from them. They're on the boat from China. They're on their way, they're on their way here.
They're on a slow boat to China?
Yeah, they were on their way from China to the United States. It's not going to be long. That was February. Now they announced that, they'll start shipping this month in July. Well, what the hell happened to the February ones? Did the boat sink? Was it torpedo?
Well,
what the hell
When
happened?
you come from a boat from China, though, it takes months to get from that port
Well,
to the shipper.
but here's the thing, though. Now they were shipping in February from China to now they're shipping in July. Well,
From China, though, or to the customers?
Well, here's the thing: they won't say. But the word, the scuttlebutt, because now I've started to follow this, is that no, they're shipping from China this month. So
Well, I would think if they were ready to ship to customers this month, we'd have pictures.
and it's just it's a disaster. They they go months without any kind of updates for their customers. They want the money up front. They go months, and you know what? Yeah, there's not going to be a Series 3 if they had nobody. And I again, you could do what you want with your money, but if I was somebody who collected this line or was interested in, I would never give them a dime of my money up front again. If it's in
Now, they
stock,
might say, in order to pressure people, well, we're only doing pre-orders. We're not going to sell them when they come in.
well,
Okay,
but again,
all the best to you.
yeah, you can't count on the pre-orders. You can't.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the Ultras too. The pictures they have of JYD's not smiling at all.
No, the picture, the renders are great.
Yeah, renders are great, but the actual prototype picture, yeah, his teeth are
Yeah, it's weird, bro. And so
like
here's
that.
the thing.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. The first series, when it got behind and all that stuff happened, he said, look, it's the first series, you know? There's going to be some hiccups. There's going to be some whatever. But now, nah, man, like, you're on Series 2. You got to know better. Yeah, I'm trying to buy some of those. There's still LJNs that I'm missing. I got to actually get onto eBay.
What's the one company that's making kind of like LJNs now?
Big rubber guys.
Yes.
and you know what? They can get their stuff out.
At Cardona and Brian Myers.
Yeah. They get their stuff out in a timely manner. Get them finished. I don't know what the hell's going on with Powertown. It's
Yeah, their stuff is high quality.
it stinks. I mean,
I was hoping they announced. Usually every month they announce new figures over at Collect Major.
I
Big
collect
rubber,
ringside collectibles and I'm good.
but they did not this month. So,
I'm waiting on my LOD figures to ship.
yeah, I got no, so. I mean, they do. They in fact,
yeah, just break stuff. Yeah.
I mean, these guys do a great job.
Oh, wow.
Now,
So,
one other thing, though, I want to say about Powertown is, and this pissed a lot of people off, too, and this is another reason why people are saying you should not pre-order from them. Besides the constant delays, remember Series 1? It was you had to order by a certain time, remember? It was a cutoff date.
I don't see nothing for sale, Dan Casper. Yes, there was a cutoff date. Correct.
There was a cutoff date, and then guess what? After that, and then after people got their shipments in, guess what? We're putting it back in production. You can buy it again. You can buy more.
Yes, which is bullshit.
And I'm like, okay, so there's no. First of all, you won't ship on time, if ever. Number two, saying these are a limited run is bullshit. And if I'm correct, I believe you can still pre-order Series 2 on their website. And then even beyond this, then the big one that people are really freaking out about is their TNA figures that have been coming for forever.
Yo, I mean, that's like forever ago.
Yeah. Well, now we got prototypes of them too. Well, again, a year later, we got prototypes. Okay, and they look terrible. I mean, people are like, the details gone. Who was that guy? Josh Alexander. They have him in their Series 1. And the render looks absolutely beautiful. The singlet, the headgear, everything. The tattoos. I mean, the tattoos are so detailed. Then they show the production sample. And it's like, okay, his face, the sculpt is so soft. The details on the singlet are not right. And the tattoos, instead of being very colorful and all, like the full arm sleeves he has and stuff, are now just black. Just black design on there. And
I
it's
got
like,
Jordan Grace as well.
yeah. And her face looks terrible on her.
You'll have a WWE figure of Jordan Grace before you have that figure.
Yeah. People are really shitting on the Moose figure too. No pun intended. That they're making with his
And there he is.
yes, with his body sculpt that like he looks like I'm gonna say it. They Chris Benoit him because what they did was they made him so that like his arms are smaller than they should be, so he looks like a tall midget. Like you know what I mean? Like his arms are not down where they should be, like for a normal sized person. And it's like, what the hell is this? What did they do with this stuff?
So July 4th, they're showing the Macho Man American flag, big rubber guy. July 7th is Danhausen. I think I might draw the line at Danhausen.
Ooh, the Sean Mooney. They got a Sean Mooney. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't need a Danhausen LJN.
You know you want Coco Beware with Frankie on his shoulder.
I ordered it. I've ordered every one they've made so far, but I might have to. I even ordered Ethan Page, but I think I might have to draw the line at Danhausen.
They should make a Jack Tunney figure.
The Flair looks cool.
There's a lot of flares. I have in the suit, regular, in blue tights, red.
It looks,
Bloody
Dan knows what I'm talking about. It looks terrible. Like it really does. It does not look like.
I haven't seen it. The only one I saw was JYD, and I was like,
yeah, no, I've seen these pictures are flown around out there now. People are like, this is garbage. Like this looks terrible. And of course, they say the same thing. These are prototypes. You know, we're working on blah blah blah. Well, you know, if you say they're going to ship very shortly, then they can't be prototypes. Then they got to be actual production pieces if you're going to ship these.
if you're just in the prototype stage that need that kind of fixing, it'd probably be another year before we see these figures.
Yeah, they might be out of business by then, honestly, because they're just not shipping stuff out to people.
Oh, did you see it? Right. So Dan the Man has sent me a picture of the red, white, and blue Macho Man.
Which
There's
you know
only 1,000 being made.
you were getting anyway, so
I'll get 2 of them.
of course you will. Take it away from 2 people. You don't care.
I will. I'll show you guys real quick. Moose, what do you want to talk about? Well, that's all the time we have for today.
I need a Macho King crown.
Wrestling. I'm here.
That
That's
looks
really
cool.
beautiful. Got the hat and everything.
I need a Macho King crown.
Well, Moose, what in particular? I don't think so. What in particular do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Crown Jewel?
Night of Champions.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever the frick they call it now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Moose portion of the show. Get comfortable. Wrestling, armbar, wrist lock, toe hold.
Hey, we could talk about Tiffany Stratton and apparently something she said.
Yeah.
I don't see nothing wrong. She said
Me neither.
boy, right?
Me neither.
Boy.
Yeah.
Like,
It just happened to be a black man, and she said boy too. But I mean, you're really stretching to try to find something to be offended at this point. It's not like she said it like an old Southern man. She was like, "Yeah, boy, tell you now, boy," something like that. She called him boy like she would have called any other guy. That
not
was
gonna get
heckling
this
her.
belt, boy.
Yeah, there's any other guy that was heckling her.
Yeah.
And so now people are like, "Oh, she said boy." Like, dude, look. Here's the thing. Let me get political for a second, Moose. I hope you don't mind. You can have one of two things. You can have what I desire, which is an equal American society. We all follow the same rules and are subject to the same things. Or you could have a society where you're special and there's a list of words that can't be said just to you, but you can't have both. Now, the exception I will make for this is actual racial slurs. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's using an actual racial slur, then yes. But boy, come on, I call Joe boy every day.
W.
Every day. I say, you can't go, boy. Ba, 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 ba. It's Debbie Gibson's song. I forgot the name of it.
This is why.
Yeah, it's money.
That's all I care about. Yep.
I was at the
Yes.
first one night SummerSlam.
Yes, Mr. Morton.
Oh,
Hey, listen, if you want something shorter and you want it to go very, very short in one night, this is your guy.
Yes.
Moose, what do you think about the Stratton situation?
I have no idea what the hell she said, so
She called the guy boy that was heckling her.
Said Naomi's gonna
okay,
take
she
this
said
belt.
boy.
Yeah.
What?
She referred to a male as boy.
Correct, but the
Just
male
let
happened to be
Oh,
black.
let it
so-
go.
And everybody, and they were like, oh, like,
Nobody tripped Tiffany Stratton's age even knows that was a racial slur once upon a time. You know what I mean? Like it was just it's so again,
What?
this is what the liberals have done to society, Moose. This is what your people are
I'm
like
not a
society.
liberal. I don't vote.
Society,
I don't care.
a society of whiny bitches, always looking to be offended at something.
it's always one word, and
Correct. It's about context. Exactly.
She said,
How you guys feel? Deportation of Latinos right now out here in Cali is bad, guys. Well, this is a wrestling show, but you know, ice, baby.
Ding, 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 ding.
dun, 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 dun.
Yes, I'm a fan of the ice. Bring back Roddy with the dual pass. I saw one person like, you know, listen. There was a woman waiting for her son at school, and she got deported before she can get her son out of school, and she's crying. And yes, I'm a fucking human being. My heart broke for her. I was sad for her, but she made a choice. Like nobody dragged her here illegally.
Mhm.
She made a choice. Could it be? Could you have handled that situation differently? God, I think so. I think you could have handled that without traumatizing the child, and I think you could have done that. This woman died. This woman was a hardcore drug dealing gangbanger that you had it. But there's a lie going around, and they say Trump said, and I hear every Democrat saying it. Trump said he was only going to go after the worst of the worst. He was only going to go after the criminals. He never said only. He never said only. He said first, but he never said only. We were very clear about what we wanted to do. I'm sorry, Moose. I didn't mean to actually hit you with some education. I
I
apologize.
don't care.
And
Well,
ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you the problem with America.
I'm the problem. I don't care.
I'm sure we're going to talk about the Night of Champions.
Yes.
What happened?
Let's talk about the night of fucking stupid champions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let me.
I was-
first.
I was just gonna say, so, I love the main event. All right, Cena
didn't
and
get to
Punk.
it.
All right, and I'm watching it. I'm like thinking, like, man, when Cena, Punk, and like Roman are gone, who's next? But I go back to Hogan. Okay,
I was going to say.
this has been in waves. Hogan was there when Hogan was left. They're like, oh, who's next?
Who's next?
Brett and Shawn carried it for a little bit, and then it was Austin and The Rock. Then when they left, who's next?
John Cena.
Who ruthless aggression, and then it became Cena, and then it was Roman. Listen, these things come in waves. Like
No.
WWE's like you're still gonna have somebody big that's coming up. It's just like
No,
UFC.
Because they
There we
they
go.
skipped the line. There's if you go by what you're saying, Ethan, then why even have a fucking border? Why even have it?
I will say this:
Be wide open. Let everybody come in, as long as they pay taxes. You
If you
can't
come
have
here-
it that way.
if you come here legally, you're fine. Like I think,
Yes,
but
yes.
I have no issue with any migrants coming to this country as long as you do it the right way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a process and you have to go through it.
Now
should
they're-
be the same if you want to move to another country.
Yeah,
Exactly. Now they're saying, well, let's give everybody who's here and hasn't broken any laws, they've been here for like at least 5 years, let's give them amnesty, right? No, you did that shit in the 80s. And you know what you didn't do along with it? You didn't close the border. So you've used up that card. We're not doing that again.
But like I was saying, like WWE is gonna be fine. They're gonna find their next, person. You got Jacob Fatu. You got
We're
Braun
not coming to
Breaker coming
Austin
up.
Theory.
Yeah, Cody.
Yes. It's the same thing with UFC. Like UFC had Chuck Liddell. Who's after that? Well, you had George St. Pierre, Anderson Silva, John Jones. Who's after that? Well, you had Connor. Like you have stars right now. Like they're doing just fine. They're pulling in money. Same with WWE. They're gonna be fine.
Who's this asshole guy that just retired?
Oh yeah, you were talking about that with your nephew the other day.
Oh,
Yeah.
they got buzz. They got
Joey.
buzz.
what's this guy's name? Jones or whatever that just
John
retired?
Jones. John Jones.
Apparently he retired because he's scared to face somebody.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, well, Jones is in some legal trouble again.
Yeah,
He's an asshole, right?
hit and run type.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's with this girl, the video, you know, him and the cops. I mean, it's just like a mess. Like the UFC has stars. Like if you watch a sport, they have stars. They're not like their pay-per-views are making money. Their pay-per-view this past weekend made money. Especially the attendance and the gate, who they went to see. They're making money. They're fine.
Yeah. Listen, they're all making money.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, why is Pakistani YouTube trending?
That's the bottom line.
but I like Night of Champions. It was a good card.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I sat down in the living room and I watched pretty much the whole card. I thought Night of Champions was a really put together show, and it really delivered for the crowd that they had.
Yeah.
The Saudi crowd is different. They're always going to be more than what people expect, and they delivered like that whole Cena Punk thing. Like when they were training for Punk, like it was like almost like a football-y soccer feel chant. It felt bigger, and they were on the roller coaster for the ride.
The overseas crowds are way better. They're way better.
They are, because they're more desensitized.
Well, they don't get to see it as much either.
Yeah.
They really appreciate it
Sensitized.
when they get it.
When they were in France and Puerto Rico, like those crowds were crazy.
I can only imagine how
They don't need character. They have stars that knock people out, and they're fine.
I can only imagine how unreal the Royal Rumble is going to be.
I understand, Ethan.
Can you imagine the amount of money they're going to put towards that just to get people to come in?
I do understand, Ethan, and I get it, but it's like saying, well, my ancestors, sold drugs. It's a means to an end, right? I'm not saying that. Listen, I know a lot of people whose grandparents did actually come illegally, and they're legal citizens. They have both families here now. I totally get it. But first of all, when your grandfather came, we needed more people in this country because we were still building the country. You have to, at some point, close the damn border. If we could talk about a permanent closing of the border, permanent, where you put in a security apparatus where no Democrat president's going to just fling the doors open. It's got to be passed into law, codified into law, so that they can't redo this. Then we could actually, I would be willing to talk about amnesty for the people that are here right now. But what I'm saying to you is, you can't give amnesty and leave the door open. Yeah, sure, it's closed now that Trump's in office. But as soon as you get one of Moose's friends in there, it's going to be open again.
I have no friends.
And the reason, by the way, is not because they care about the migrants. Oh, the Democrats care about the migrants. No. Migrants gravitate towards larger cities, places like that. Every area you go where there's a lot of migrants, there's a Democrat running things. And so what happens is they're counted in the census. Because they're counted in the census, the numbers in the House grow. Those numbers grow, and those people being in primarily Democrat districts, you have more Democrats that go to the House, and it gives them more power. They don't give a shit about the people. It's about Democrat Party power. End of story.
So I just wanted to say this. I for the most part enjoyed Night of Champions. I mean, it was pretty, I think, kind of telegraphed to some degree that Cody was going to win that first King of the Ring finals because, he's got to go to SummerSlam for the championship. But they still had a great match. I'll tell you, though, the low light for me 100% was the Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley match.
No,
What?
that was pretty good.
For street fights, I'm like, come on. I mean, it was, one or two table spots, couple.
I thought that table was gonna break.
I
I
thought
mean-
they were going to fall off the table on the top rope. I was just like,
well,
okay, well,
Here's my thing. Why have a street fight? Why have a street fight if you're not going to go anywhere except right around the ring? Just make it a no DQ
they
match.
can't leave the arena.
I know. I'm just saying though. I'm not saying they should leave the arena, but I was like, you could throw somebody over the barricade, maybe start beating them up, in the crowd. No, didn't do any of that. It was just right
Because
around.
that's what that crowd anticipated. That crowd didn't. Had they gone into that crowd, they would have gotten mobbed.
Yeah.
Oh, so let's talk about the CM Punk situation with the girl who I think was a plant.
He just touched her shoulder.
And they're going nuts about this.
Like, you know what I liked? I did like the Cody heel tactics with Orton's back, like working it over.
Yeah.
But like, here's the thing: like, if you have a fighter that's knocking people out left and right in the first round, that person sells. Ilya Tapora is a big star.
Well, forget about Elliot, whatever you're talking about. I got 2 words for you: Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Who was a bigger star than Mike Tyson in the 1980s?
But listen, like Tyson could barely speak on the mic, but he can knock people out, and guess what? People tune in.
Yeah.
Same thing with these UFC stars. If you have a fighter that's knocking people out left and right, they tune in and they buy the card. They
Correct.
buy the fight. But like Night of Champions, like I liked, like I loved, like I just said, the Cody, the little heel tactics he played with
No,
Orton.
Ethan, Tyson wasn't a loose cannon until the end of his career. The beginning of his career, he's just knocking people out.
Yeah. That's not till later. That's not till like
Yeah, that's not
2000.
Towards the end of his career. And the part where, the part where Mike was the kid, he was watching Muhammad Ali. But the part where me and, Joey were younger, he was just knocking people out.
I can remember the one time because we used to, we had HBO back then. I remember his fight, his fights would be on HBO. And I remember my dad inviting a whole bunch of people over, like, yeah, we're going to watch the Mike Tyson fight and stuff. We're watching stuff, and 45 seconds in, it's over.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, okay. That was, for now.
Yeah. I remember my uncle, may he rest in peace, he walked out of the room to call somebody upstairs and said, come on, hurry up, the fight's on. By the time he came back in the room, the fight was over.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that guy hit you like a truck.
Mm-hmm.
So people, you didn't have to hear him talk on the microphone. He was just knocking people out. And it was, Tyson was a once in a lifetime guy.
Oh yeah.
There's an action figure I would display.
I mean, come on, Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Who didn't love that?
They made Mike Tyson figures. Hello.
Yeah, I know, but you can't really find them anymore.
Okay. I'm just saying. There's plenty of them out there. Boxing wise, they did they won for the Rocky Balboa movie.
Oh, really?
For his cameo in it, yeah.
Oh, by the way, the next kickboxer figure, Kurt Sloan, big rubber guy, will be out on July 14th. Why are they staggering these for the month of July?
Who wants a Kurt Sloan one?
I don't know, but he's only making 1,000 of them.
Give me a Frank Dukes one. That'd be amazing.
Well, who was the first guy they made?
I don't know. Is it Tung Po?
Carmine, I want you to tell your story
Which one?
about what happened with your Hogan belt.
Oh, yeah. So I'm pissed off about this.
Once it's not me. For once it's not me. I'm okay this time. This time Carmine got the belt karma.
They got me on the Mike Holloway list.
Yes. That's good.
So my guy over at Fanatics messaged me. He says, listen, we got this belt from the shop. It turns out it's Hogan 86. Only 25 of these are going to be signed by Hogan. And they got them for like $849.99 on the website. He's like, we're doing it for guys like, customers like you. And you guys I know a lot of you guys have Fanatics reps out there. You know, sometimes we get deals. You know, we're doing it for $450 or whatever it is, and I'm like, well, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's retail price. Like the autograph's free essentially. And so I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. And so I ordered it, this and that and the other. The package is now lost. It's been sitting in Florida since the 24th of June. There is an update tonight, Mike, and the update says the investigation requires additional merchandise description. Please visit UPS.com claims or contact UPS for additional support. Which means that I got to contact my guys at Fanatics, and I'm going to contact them tomorrow because I told them this. I said, look, just send me a new one. You got a whole store full of them. Just send me a new one. I spent a ton of money with you guys.
What if he kept that belt and gave you a fake track?
No, it's not like that.
Well, here's the best part, though.
Warehouse.
This is a DHL maneuver right here. So I was on the phone when Carmine called them. So the UPS guy, who, by the way, of course, sounded like he's somewhere in America, said that, oh, sir, well, yeah, we never received package. He said, what do you mean never received? Yeah, no, we never received the. There was an issue with the dimensions, I think he said, of the box or something.
Yeah.
Dimensions of the package. We're like, well, but the tracking says last scan was at this location in Florida, at the hub. Oh no, that doesn't mean. I can guarantee you we never received it. We never received it. So then you talk to the Fanatics, to your rep. The rep says absolutely it was sent out, then they picked it and they received it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, it's just gone into the void somewhere.
Yeah, so stupid.
Somebody saw it and said, oh look, this is probably a belt from Fanatics WWE shop. Let's take it home for little Johnny.
Yeah. So obviously I'm pissed off.
Yeah. Because don't forget, this is a little small box. These are those big, long shippers. Yeah. So yeah, it's not like it's something that would fall behind like a desk or something.
Yeah, this is not. Yeah, you're not just gonna misplace this.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed the intro. Story time with Carmine Sabia, baby.
That's too late.
I
know, I missed it.
So yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, they should send you a new one tomorrow. Then I would say.
I'm going to tell them that basically.
Yeah.
Look, now they need a description. They said this is going to take forever.
Yeah, they're not going to find it. But the description of it. Well, what the hell does a normal Fanatics belt box look like? You get them 100, a million times a year.
But this is supposed to be Fanatics' problem, not my problem.
Yeah, and again, here's the thing. It could be sitting on a pallet waiting to be audited, but again, UPS claims that they never received it.
Yeah, so I'm pissed off.
Should check that guy's IP address.
I'm super pissed off. What happened?
Check the IP address.
I didn't expect that.
I didn't hear you said.
So you should check that guy's IP address.
Yes, I should.
Calling the authorities. Yeah, they could do that.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. I don't listen. Here's the thing. I don't care if I get the belt or not. Honestly, like it was just something. Not really. No, it was just such a good price that I was like, yeah, I'll take it. Wasn't something I was looking for. So
Carmine's gonna put it over his shoulder, like.
Yeah, like so. If you can't get it to me, whatever, then just give me the money back. Like, I'm not giving you a gift of the money. Like, I want one or the other.
So I think this belt is not here. Carmine's like, yeah, that doesn't work for me, brother.
Doesn't work for me, brother. So I think we've covered all the topics, haven't we?
I believe so.
Yeah. Our lab naming everybody in the hobby that gets free belts.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
What happened? Who?
We covered our lab, mentioned everybody in the hobby that gets free belts.
Yep.
Yes.
Apparently that's the thing.
That's a thing now. Yeah, everybody's getting free belts. Or Rogers.
This person.
Rogers
this
tried to
person.
shove everybody in front of the bus. Mendoza, Davenport,
Who?
Talmadge.
Well, I mean, Guido
Iowa.
put a case on Mendoza.
Guido did put a case on him. He said Guido's on the case.
Right. Case number
That guy.
1,112. Yep.
Well, that's the thing. I'm looking at the pickup scan, Ethan.
Yeah, and then it said it,
At
arrived,
UPS
and
facility.
it was scanned that it arrived at the hub in Florida.
Yeah.
And the UPS is saying, well, no, we never received it. Well, how the fuck, where's this fucking scan? Well, no, that doesn't mean anything.
He's just Rogers just dragging everybody. He's saying that basically that Kevin is getting money from people to makers to let them in his group, which is complete bullshit. But this guy was just trying to drag everybody down to take away from the fact that he's using a Reggie stamp. So he's trying to drag everybody else into the conversation to take attention off himself. It was just bad. It was just watching somebody who's drowning, who's dragging other people.
Oh, he's going down with the Titanic, and he's pulling everybody with him in the water.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, but they probably won't.
They won't. I know a UPS driver. He's like, nothing ever happens.
No, they're just like, oh, well, it's lost.
Yeah. So I don't care what they do. I want my belt. End of story. I want my belt or my money. I'll take either, but I will have some kind of resolution tomorrow. I promise you that. How much money do people think is in this? Not a lot. I made about back then in the 2020. I made about $100 a belt. I did, but nowadays maybe they make $25 or $50. That's why it's not worth it. I got to sell 4 belts to make $100 and deal with people. No way. No thanks.
I would never be a middleman. I never was one. I was asked to be one time. I said no because I couldn't deal with the bullshit.
Well, you were asked to be a middleman in an OnlyFans thing.
Yeah, and,
You were the man in the middle.
and again, I couldn't deal with the
Old
bullshit.
Mike's spit roast.
So again, we know what he's
Yeah,
thinking.
no, Ethan, exactly. Nobody's going to confuse Rogers for Reggie Parks.
I can't imagine when I've seen some of the bullshit that's gone as hobby. My personal favorite is, like people who, I can't stand this belt because the one plate is like a quarter of a millimeter too far to the left. And I'm like, I couldn't imagine being somebody
No.
with that.
And as a middleman, I used to tell people to pound sand when there was something like that. Get out of here. Look at it. You're nuts. Because everybody's always trying to get something for nothing or get a freebie or get some money back.
Oh, especially when you sell belts, man. People are like, yo, man, can you give me this? Can you?
Yeah. They're always trying to talk you down.
I
Oh,
sold all my
yeah.
belts quick a couple years ago. Glad I did.
His leather looks like most people in Pakistan, and it's not Classic Shields. It's certainly not Omi. It's not Alianis. It's not even Azam, who does pretty good leather. It's Rogers. And I told him, Ethan, I said, forget a belt. I'll give you $500 if you can prove to me your last name is Rogers.
Well, like, here's my thing. Like, if he's going to throw people under the bus, show proof. Show proof.
But even if you have proof, that Talmadge and Tyler said, hey, look, if you want us to sell for you, you got to give us free belts.
Yeah.
That's called a fee.
Oh, no, I get
It wasn't
that, but I'm
for
just saying,
service.
like,
You know what I'm
like,
saying?
everybody, like, wants to throw people under the bus. It's like, yo,
Yes.
just
I
show
wouldn't
proof.
care if Kevin Davenport was charging people to be in his group that has thousands of people in it, and you got to pay a fee to be in here if you want to sell. I'd be like, yeah, that sounds right. You're selling your shit. They're providing you a form to do that. I don't think, again, don't believe Kevin and Mark are because it's not how they think. But I'd understand if they did, and I'd be like, yes, finally somebody's doing it.
Like somebody saying, hey, you got to give me a percentage if you sell a belt in this group.
Oh my God, I may have to get this.
Oh no.
I may have to get this. Then the kickboxer figure that they were talking about.
Yeah, it's cool.
Come out. I saw you. You don't know what scene that's from, though, do you?
No.
Look up Van Damme dance.
Oh,
Yeah, it's from that. It's like him. He's like this, like and it's doing a dance. I'm like, I may have to get that.
Yeah. So I mean, Yeah, exactly. So for some reason, Big Rubber Guys though is usually July 1st. Here's the new guys, but this has like 3 different dates, so that's weird. But
I have to take
all right, so
this-
I'm gonna jet. You guys can keep going if you want.
I think we're good, right?
Sure.
Moose,
Yeah.
are you good in the hood?
I guess.
Okay. So Moose, roll us out.
All right. So for the guy who looks like he's about to cook me some fucking delicious ribs, Carmine Sabia. For his little henchman, Mike All-American Hollandcheck. For the... I don't even know how to describe Joe right now.
Charles
for the-
Patrick Brown.
For the Charlie Brown of the hobby,
The hobby.
I am the Moose. Cuckoo Cachoo. There's a spinner belt. Fuck that thing. We'll see y'all next week. Maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. I don't know. Depends on when Carmine wakes up.
But Moose doesn't mean to toot his own horn, but
Toot, toot, baby.
Yes, we love you guys. God bless you. Take care, everybody.
Yeah, we ready, we ready. This is for the warriors. Blood on the mat, sweat on my skin. I've been fighting for a win, don't need no gimmick. When the lights go down and the crowd starts to roar, I'm coming for the belt, man, I'm coming for more. The struggle's real, but the hustle's heavy. This ain't a game, it's a fight for the ready. We fight through the noise, breaking down walls. Every time we fall, we rise, stand tall. They talking, they hating, but we keep moving. Ain't no stopping the crowd, we choose it. Through the blood, through the pain, we living for the glory. Through the hurt and the shame, we fight through the noise, can't hear a thing. We making our moves, we own everything. Wrestling through pain, breaking all chains. This is our world, and we taking the reins. Rise up from the ashes, rise from the dirt, from the first bell ring to the final hurt. We fight through the noise, we won't be ignored. This is our story, we're taking the floor. Through the ropes, through the crime, we don't quit. Ain't no fear when you're fighting with grit. Body slam, then we stand, take the blow. A real champ knows when it's time to grow. Tearing up the ring, tear up